Yes, everybody, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Happy Thursday. This week's hurtling down to the weekend. Obviously, you play Everton at Goodison Park on Saturday, 3 p.m. kickoff. Could you Adam and Eve it? And then it's all back to those Thursday, Sunday jobbies. Can't wait. We did a little show this morning, actually, about contracts and the contract chaos that is this summer. And starting the new game on the West Ham Network, renewal or farewell. And what would I do with each of those? And it'd be great to get your thoughts on that video in the comments on that video and get a chance to win some signed Ian Bishop stuff to say thank you for participating. Thought I'd jazz it up a little bit, say thank you for all the comments we get and give you something tangible rather than a thumbs up or a heart. Anyway, it's Hammers Headlines in association with the KUMB.com boys. We're going to talk about some transfer rumours. Now, despite whoever's in the dugout or in the summer, it's fair to say that we know Tim Steinton is going to be in charge of the recruitment. If he's still here, but he sounds like he's going to be still here because like Liverpool seem to be interested in a few others like the Bournemouth sporting director and someone else as well. But it is going to be Tim's recruitment drive from now on. So whoever's the new first team coach, whether it is Mr. Moyes or whether it is another, they will be having to implement Tim's players into the starting lineups. And to be honest, he ain't had a bad run of it, has he? Kudus, Alvarez, Mavropanos, all his picks by the sounds of it. With JWP seems to be a David Moyes pick. But there's we've had a raft. I think Holly spoke yesterday about Leif Davis, the 6'2", is he 6'2", something like that? Well, he's 6 foot left back from Ipswich, who we are apparently interested in. I think that's a great shout. Not only that, but he's homegrown as well, which I think is something you bear in mind. We've been linked with a number of other players recently, and what's quite encouraging is when you look at the players we've been linked with, they're all like under the age of like 22. 23, which is fantastic. So that's why I thought we'd do a bit of a roundup of some of the players we've been linked with this week. It's a black screen. There we go. Let's start with this gentleman. Am I bothered? It's Bov. Apparently, according to Mercato Web, my favourite Italian outlet, West Ham are interested in 21-year-old AS Roma midfielder Eduardo Bove. According to the news outlet, he has been a subject of interest from West Ham United and also Bournemouth. And we're in the market apparently for a midfielder heading into the summer. And we have our sights set on the 21-year-old highly rated AS Roma midfield prospect. He's a native of Rome and spent his formative years in his homeland. He began his youth career at, Borriello Donorioni before joining Roma in 2012. He is a highly rated Italian midfield sensation. And he's come on leaps and bounds, rising through the ranks before breaking into the first team squad. Made his first team debut in May 2021 under Jose Mourinho. He's a big fan. He was a big fan of his. Obviously, he's no longer the manager there. And he's been a mainstay in the middle of the park ever since. So far, he's amassed over 2,000 minutes. So far, turns out 32 times, chipping in 1 goal and 2 assists. And his exploits have not gone unnoticed at Roma with, as I said, West Ham and Bournemouth apparently both interested in him. It's quite interesting. And as I said, what's been quite interesting is we do seem to be linked recently with a number of midfielders, young midfielders. So, changing of the guard maybe, or starting to plan ahead. You got to think Souček's 28, 29, something like that. JDP's knocking on 30. Alvarez is 25. He's a good age, but it seems they're starting to think what we could do for the next round and sort of bringing in the youth bringing in as midfielders at an earlier age rather than necessarily plonking him in at 26, 27. Someone like Eduardo, Pablo Maia from Corinthians we've been linked with, and a number of others as well. So it'd be interesting to see. As I said, 21. He's good age, consistently playing for Roma already at a high level in Serie A. So you can see why we're interested in him. Definitely. Elsewhere, let's talk about another midfielder. This one is from Porto, Alan. So we've had Am I Bothered? Am I Bovey? Now we've got Alan. Are we admiring Alan? Apparently, we're one of the latest clubs to be interested in the Porto midfielder, Alan Valera. According to a recent report of my favourite Spanish media outlet, Fajitas, they claim the defensive midfielder is attracting interest from several Premier League clubs, including West Ham, as name checked in the article. Also, Villa, Man United, also admirers of the 22-year-old. But Porto in no rush to sell their Argentine midfielder, but it'll become increasingly harder for them to deny him a move to the Premier League, in all honesty. He's had some fantastic performances, particularly in the Champions League. Obviously, he played in midfield against Arsenal, where they beat them 1-0. And he looks to be the next big thing coming out of Portuguese football. And, we've had a relatively good success with our midfielders. He only actually left Boca Juniors last summer. So, already looking for that next step up. And that's what a lot of particularly South American players do. They tend to go to Portugal particularly, and then use that as a springboard to get into the Premier League usually. So it's going to be interesting to see what area we come. But, for Eduardo is 21, Alan is 22. I think, as I said, several others we've been linked to midfield do seem to be in that sort of no older than 23, and maybe that's the cut-off for Tim in terms of potential new signings coming in terms of youthening. I'm sure that's a word. If not, I've just made up. Youthening the squad, which is, as we know, is one of the oldest squads in the Premier League. But we've got a number of players out of contract, like Bonner, Cresswell, that will automatically bring the age down of the squad. There's another guy we've been linked to. Again, this is completely different. Non-league, Dartford, Ollie Box. Some great names today we've been linked with. But apparently us and Crystal Palace are competing to sign non-league playmaker Ollie Box from Dartford. According to several sources, we're among a number of clubs interested in the non-league Starlet. I love it when someone it's called a starlet. Not star, you're a starlet just because you're quite young. The 18-year-old has come through the ranks at Dartford, who are in the National League South, I believe. And he's burst into the first team in recent weeks. He was a star of Dartford's academy and was generating interest at that early stage, but now he's been given his chance in the first team and taking it with both hands. He's scored 3 goals in the last 2 games, and he's done so in front of a host of scouts from a number of clubs: West Ham, Crystal Palace, Brentford, and then non-Premier League sides like Middlesbrough, Millwall, and Orient are apparently all interested in bringing Ollie in. Fair play to him, you know what I mean? It's like, I like the fact that we're looking in every corner of the world, you know what I mean? And that's the idea of having someone like Maximilian involved in terms of analysis. He can obviously find these potentials using data. And then Mortis goes out if it's international or UK ones as well, UK scouts, and just see these guys, And the fact is, we've got, in these 3 links, I know they were just links, but we've got Serie A, we've got Portugal, and then we've got National League South. So every corner of the globe apparently is being looked at, and we've obviously been looking in the Asia market as well during the Asia Cup. So it's great to see that this net has been cast wide. Obviously, these are just rumours; these aren't necessarily definites we've been linked to or definite interests, but still, it's encouraging. It's encouraging that we've got a proper scouting network set up now. And as I said, someone like Maximilian Khan is one of the best in the business when it comes to analytics. And so that's a massive coup for us. And that's it, my friends. That's it. Check out the channel. Loads of stuff coming up, obviously ahead of the Everton game, which is on Saturday, 3 p.m. Very exciting. I'm very excited about that. And then obviously then we start our 2-game weeks again for the next couple of weeks at least, with Freiburg away next Thursday, with then Burnley at home on that Sunday, so which is Mother's Day as well. So not the best, but hey ho. Take care, stay safe, stay warm, stay humble. Don't forget to check out kneesatmybrand.com for your news, reviews, and opinions. And I'll see you guys very, very soon. Take care, my friends. Ciao for now.